¿Qué pasó, raza? Welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Tita. Today we're doing nopalitos with carne molida or ground beef, ¿verdad? Yeah, ground beef. This collection that we have now, it's called the Summer of Love. We're going kind of like a 60s vibe. So this one is called Desert People shirt, the one I'm wearing, and the one my Tita's wearing, that one's called the Mystery Trolley. A ver, vuelta, 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 vuelta. Vuelta, vuelta toda, vuelta, 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 vuelta. So that one's a really cool shirt. So as you know, we're doing a lot of things at the print shop. We make our own shirts, we start doing our own mugs, our own caps, as you can see. So we have a bunch of stuff coming out, super excited about it. And so with that, let's start cooking. Welcome back. So the first thing we're gonna do is cut these nopalitos. So what we have doing Tita here, she's gonna be cutting the nopalitos, and we got like a 16-ounce bag of nopalitos. They come in a bag, you just cut them open, rinse them, wash them really good. Okay, so what Tita's saying is that we're gonna cook the nopalitos first with pure lime juice. Never heard of that, so that's cool. So we're gonna use 3 limes. So as you can see, like this cool apron, Pops came through and he made us these cool aprons. So thank you, Pops. ¿Ya? ¿Ya eran los 3? Okay. Cucharada. Half a teaspoon. Oh, that's it. Yeah, ¿verdad? Half a teaspoon of salt. And we're using, we're fancy. Tita's fancy. So you didn't know Tita's very fancy. So we are using Himalayan salt. So we're gonna cover it now. We'll put it over here, and then we're gonna start preparing our meat. Yeah, this is 1 pound of
Carne molida.
Yeah, carne molida or ground beef.
Lo bueno que no lleva aceite.
So this is pretty healthy because we use no oil on this. So as you can see, we use no oil on the nopalitos or on the meat. Usually, like with the meat, like you kind of cook it and it already has fat in it. So like you don't need to add a little bit more oil, because if you do, I've done the mistake and it's just like super oily. So right now we'll just put it on the thing and we'll just start moving it up and down. So see, Tita usually tanteo, like whatever she puts in, and then she'll drop it in though. But to be a little bit more precise, a little bit more professional, we'll put it on this just to be perfect. So it's 1 teaspoon of black pepper. And it's also up to taste. So if you don't like pepper, you just add a little bit less, or don't add pepper at all. We're gonna do garlic salt. 1 teaspoon of garlic salt. And then it's gonna be half a teaspoon of Cumin, okay, Cumin. Or a little bit less than half a teaspoon. A little bit less than half a teaspoon. So you don't want the heat too high. You just want it like at a medium. So she's gonna add a little bit of seasoned salt also. So le echaste de las dos, ¿verdad? De esa y luego de esta.
No, esta es, no le he puesto sal.
Sí, le echamos sal. ¿Fue la primera? Ah, le echamos acá a los nopales. Okay, so for the meat, we're gonna use seasoned salt for this one.
Vamos a ponerle
Una cucharada. It smells good. Now we're gonna cover it up. She's saying that usually like the nopalitos, they're like really slimy. And we want them to where they're not so slimy. So what we do is we move them a little bit and we go ahead and cover them up again. while this is doing, I'm gonna end up cutting the tomatoes. So we're gonna use 2 tomatoes. We're gonna use 2 jalapeños, half an onion, and a little bit of cilantro. It's like maybe half, what do you call it, a bushel of cilantro, or up to taste. My mom usually likes to use a lot more, so it's up to taste or what you want. ¿Tú le quitas las venas?
Le quito la semilla.
La semilla.
Aquí están las venas, mira, para que pique.
She's saying that if you wanted to, she'll usually take off all the seeds, but if you want it to be like really spicy, you end up keeping these little veins that you see right here. And she'll actually leave them. If it's not too spicy, she'll leave these veins here, and then she'll go ahead and cut them up and throw them in there. I never had nopalitos until like maybe a couple years ago. Like I've never really had them until we went to Pollo Loco. We loved getting Pollo Loco, and we got Pollo Loco, and one of them was nopales. And I think my parents actually got nopalitos, and that's like the very first time I tried nopalitos. And after that, I was hooked. But my mom's actually, she usually does nopalitos, but I never had them. I never ate them. So as you can see, you can see it like it's really, really slimy, but my mom's saying that it's really healthy for you. So like she kind of took off the lid and then starts cooking a little bit better. I think when you have the lid on, it kind of makes it a little bit more slimy. So we take off the lid and we kind of move it around. That way it kind of, all the sliminess kind of goes away. So my grandma, my mom's mom, has a huge nopal in her backyard. It's massive. And she's saying that she actually went to the backyard, she ended up cutting it, and she cleaned it up. That's the thing though. It's better if you buy them at the store, because if you try to do it yourself, you're gonna end up with a bunch of, what do you call them? Splinters. You're gonna end up with a bunch of splinters in your hands. She's saying that like right now it's still a little bit too gooey, so what we gotta do is just gonna wait up a little bit more so it can, I guess, evaporate. Se evapora o qué? O se cose. Lo que más viene haciendo, ¿verdad? Que se cose. You guys, I guess the more you cook it, the less slimy it gets. So we used half an onion, but she says, you know what, like for her, she wants a little bit more onion, so she just grabbed a little sliver more of onion. What she's doing right now is just kind of a little bit more. So it's up to taste, whatever you prefer. If you like a lot of onion, put the whole onion. If you like a lot of cilantro, put the whole cilantro. So it's up to taste. So just kind of give you like a reference of what to put on it though, but ultimately it's gonna be up to you what you want. So what I like about the nopales is that they taste kind of like como limón, like kind of like lime. It's got that fresh taste to it. Ahorita quieres que me coma uno? That's good. So she's saying like a little trick is that once it starts sticking to the pan, it means it's getting ready. So what Tita ended up doing is she ended up taking, it was like still like a little bit too moist. The onions did cook already, so she took off the lid, and for like 5 minutes she kind of just let it boil. That way, kind of like all the water evaporates. That way it's not so, I guess, juicy. Right? And I caught Tita. I caught her doing something. She didn't want to tell you guys, but I caught her. This is her secret recipe, and I guess she added like a tablespoon of caldo de pollo. A teaspoon? Nah, it was more like a tablespoon. Se le echó. Yeah, she's trying to lie to you again, but she's lying. So, I caught her. This is her secret. So she added a little bit of this. Yeah, she said that it needed a little bit more salt, but she added this. Got her.
Ponle el cilantro.
Cilantro.
Y los nopales
Yeah,
ya
y
están
los
listos.
nopales ya se nos quemaron.
No, ya están listos.
All right, nopales are ready. So, watch. Alex, if you want to come over here, that way you can see how the finished product is. They're not so slimy now, they're like perfect. So, they're not too slimy, it's not too dry or too wet, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so they're ready. So, ¿los echo aquí?
Pues sírvete lo que te vas a hacer.
No, échalo tú porque tú lo haces más bonito. Yo nomás lo echo.
Pues así se lo va a comer.
Bueno, pues así, mero.
Listo.
Listo. So, bam, finished product right there. All right, welcome back. So, thank you for joining us on this show. Remember that you can pick these shirts up at Chuco Relic. So they're out already. Thank you for supporting us. And now it's time for the taste test. Best part. So, sí. A ver si te salieron buenas, ¿eh?
A ver si te salieron buenos. ¿Qué le faltó?
Nada,
No?
perfecto. Perfect. That secret ingredient que no les quisiste decir. That's what makes it. No, cheater!
Le faltó poquito sal.
The camera went off and she's like going back to her thing, adding her special spices. And I'm like, Mom, we gotta tell them. Shh.
Ay,
Hey, caught you, mentirosa. Caught her. So, but I got your back, yo. That was the secret ingredient, was that. ¿Cómo se llama? Sal de pollo. I guess that's what it is. So, consomé de pollo. But this is really, really good. And hope you guys can make this. It's super simple. Didn't take that long. So, again, thank you for joining us. Peace.